Picture this: a shimmering harbour dotted with white sails, iconic architectural marvels that defy imagination, and golden beaches that stretch as far as the eye can see. This is Sydney, Australia's crown jewel and a city of dreams. But beneath its sun-kissed surface lies an epic tale of survival, rebellion, and reinvention that spans over 60,000 years. From the ancient wisdom of the Eora people to the struggles of convict settlers, from gold rush fever to Olympic glory, Sydney's story is a roller coaster of triumph and tragedy that will leave you spellbound. Today, we're peeling back the layers of Australia's first city to reveal the untold stories that shape this global powerhouse. Prepare to see Sydney in a whole new light as we embark on a journey through time, from dream time to our time. Buckle up, mates. This is Sydney, the untold story of Australia's first city, the land before time. Long before the first European ships sailed into Sydney's harbour, this land was home to the Eora Nation. The Eora people, whose name means the people, lived on what is now Sydney for over 60,000 years. They belonged to several clans, each with distinct territories, traditions and languages. The waterways, such as Sydney Harbour, known as Warren, provided abundant resources, and fishing was central to their way of life. Rock carvings, hand stencils and ancient campsites tell a story of their deep connection to the land and its spirits. Their culture was rich in songlines, oral maps passed down through generations that explained the land, its creatures and how to navigate it. Ceremonies, art and storytelling all played crucial roles in maintaining social cohesion and passing down knowledge. However, much of this legacy was disrupted by European colonisation. The arrival of British settlers in 1788 began a devastating era for the Eora people. Displacement from their lands, violence, and introduced diseases like smallpox caused a catastrophic decline in their population. Yet, despite these challenges, the Eora Nation's legacy endures, reflected in ongoing efforts to preserve their culture and history. Today, Sydney's Indigenous heritage is celebrated through places like the Barangaroo Reserve and educational initiatives. Yet, there's still much work to be done in recognising and honouring the vital role Indigenous Australians played and continue to play in shaping this land. The arrival of the First Fleet. The year 1788 marked a turning point in Australian history with the arrival of the First Fleet. Comprising 11 ships carrying roughly 1,400 people, including convicts, sailors and officers, the fleet sailed into Port Jackson, an area now known as Sydney Harbour. Captain Arthur Phillip, the fleet's leader, chose this location due to its natural harbour, fresh water sources and fertile soil. Life in the early colony was harsh. The settlers were ill prepared for the new environment, with its unfamiliar climate and native flora and fauna. Food shortages became a pressing issue as their initial attempts at farming often failed. Convicts, who made up the majority of the population, were put to work clearing land, building shelters, and establishing a basic infrastructure. For the Indigenous Eora people, this arrival was catastrophic. Their land was taken without consultation or compensation, and violent clashes between settlers and Indigenous clans became common. The settlers also brought diseases like smallpox, which devastated local populations. Despite these struggles, the colony survived, and over time, it began to grow. Convicts who completed their sentences often became free settlers, contributing to the colony's development. By the turn of the 19th century, Sydney was evolving into more than just a penal settlement. It was becoming the heart of a fledgling society. This period laid the foundations for what Sydney would eventually become, a city that embodies resilience and growth. Growth and rebellion. The 19th century was a period of transformation for Sydney, as it shifted from a penal colony to a thriving settlement. By the early 1800s, convicts made significant contributions to the city's infrastructure. One notable example was Francis Greenway, an architect who designed landmarks such as Hyde Park Barracks and St. James Church after earning his freedom. However, this period wasn't without turmoil. The Rum Rebellion of 1808 was a dramatic chapter in Sydney's history, where Governor William Bligh was overthrown by the New South Wales Corps. The conflict arose due to Bligh's attempts to curtail the use of rum as a form of currency, highlighting the tensions between military leaders and civil governance. As Sydney grew, so did its population, bolstered by the arrival of free settlers and, later, immigrants attracted by the Australian gold rush of the 1850s. This influx brought wealth and a demand for better infrastructure. Roads, bridges, and public buildings were constructed, transforming Sydney into a burgeoning urban centre. By the late 1800s, Sydney was no longer just a penal outpost. It was the cultural and economic hub of New South Wales. Its natural harbour became a gateway for trade, connecting Australia to the world. Despite its progress, the city retained its convict roots, with tales of rebellion and hardship woven into its identity. This era of growth and rebellion set the stage for Sydney's eventual rise as Australia's premier city. Modern transformation. The 20th century marked Sydney's leap into modernity. By 1932, the city had completed one of its most iconic landmarks, the Sydney Harbour Bridge. Nicknamed the Coat Hanger, the bridge was a marvel of engineering and a symbol of resilience, built during the Great Depression when unemployment was high. It connected Sydney's northern and southern shores, facilitating growth and uniting the city. In 1973, Sydney unveiled another global icon, the Sydney Opera House. Its architect, Eora Nation, designed it to resemble sails on the harbour, reflecting Australia's maritime culture. Despite early controversies and cost overruns, it became a UNESCO World Heritage Site and an enduring symbol of Australia's creativity. Post-World War II, Sydney underwent significant demographic changes. Waves of immigrants from Europe, Asia, and the Middle East arrived, drawn by opportunities in a thriving post-war economy. This influx transformed Sydney into a multicultural hub, enriching its culture and cuisine. The city also became a centre for global events, hosting the 2000 Summer Olympics, which showcased Sydney's beauty and vibrancy to the world. Urban renewal projects revitalised areas like Darling Harbour and Barangaroo, blending heritage with modernity. Today, Sydney is a bustling metropolis known for its mix of natural beauty and architectural splendour. Its transformation from a struggling colony to a global city is a testament to its resilience and adaptability. A city of contrasts. Modern Sydney is a city of contrasts, where history and progress intersect. Its glittering skyline and bustling economy position it as one of the most livable cities in the world. Yet beneath this veneer lies a story of ongoing challenges. The city's natural beauty remains one of its defining features. Iconic beaches like Bondi and Manly draw millions of tourists each year, while the Blue Mountains and Royal National Park provide breathtaking escapes from urban life. Sydney Harbour continues to be a focal point, not just for its scenic views, but also for its cultural significance to the indigenous Gadigal people. However, Sydney's rapid growth has brought challenges. Housing affordability is a pressing issue, with median house prices among the highest globally. Urban sprawl has also raised concerns about sustainability and transportation infrastructure. Despite these challenges, Sydney remains a cultural and economic powerhouse. It hosts globally recognised institutions like the Sydney Theatre Company and the University of Sydney. Events like Vivid Sydney celebrate the city's creativity and innovation, while its multicultural population ensures a dynamic and diverse cultural scene. Sydney is a city that celebrates its past while looking toward the future. It embodies a unique blend of ancient heritage, colonial history, and modern aspirations, making it a place unlike any other in the world. From its beginnings as a land of the Eora people to its transformation into a bustling metropolis, Sydney's history is a testament to resilience and change. It's a city that honours its past while looking toward the future. If you enjoyed exploring Sydney's story, don't forget to like, subscribe and share. Let us know in the comments which part of Sydney's history fascinates you most. See you in the next one.